Then came SmackDown, Friday night at Madison Square Garden, their second straight week of excellent shows on Friday. There's a rumor going around, by the way, that MSG might be hosting Survivor Series this year, but that's all it is right now. It's just a rumor. They didn't announce a return date on Friday night. They usually run the day after Christmas at the Garden. That's become an annual tradition. Now, if the Wyatt Six stuff was the highlight of Raw this week, then the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony was the highlight of not only SmackDown, but I would say it was the highlight of the entire month.
Oh,
Heyman, nothing was going to top that performance that Paul Heyman gave this week. Mike Johnson on PW Insider called it one of the greatest of Heyman's career. I think we can safely drop the one of qualifier. You don't have to say one of. It was the greatest performance of Paul Heyman's entire career. And it's the best story that he has ever booked or had a hand in booking, going all the way back to the ECW days. And we know Heyman has a lot of input behind the scenes into the Bloodline story. Him and Roman both, very hands-on with it. This is Paul Heyman's greatest work. Creatively, this is his greatest work. I cannot pay him a better compliment than that. This poor bastard was out there on Friday on no sleep. And when he's done this before, I think he's even talked about it in interviews, where there have been times on WWE television over the years, and there was one time with Brock Lesnar, there was some story going on, and he was on edge, and
Heyman,
he would stay up all night
Heyman looked
so
rough.
that he can look the part on TV. You know, we've seen him do this before, where he's all disheveled,
his eyes
he
were
hasn't
gone.
shaved, it looks like in days, his eyes are all bloodshot. He looked like he was on a 5-day bender on Friday.
Yeah, he
this
looked.
Was the night that the wise man
rough.
stood his ground and he paid the price for it.
Got
This
his
man's
ass
nerves
kicked.
have been frayed for weeks, right? We've seen him. He's looked like a hostage. In every single one of these segments we've seen him in now for months. A few weeks ago, he begged CM Punk,
Take me with you. He's like, what?
I've watched this segment back a few times now. Each time I try to pay attention to a different member of the Blood.
You know, I can, like I said, the wrestling that I watch is so-so. 'Cause I can pick up SmackDown until it moves to, they said it's moving to USA, and then Raw is moving to the Netflix. I still can't get over that. I can pick up SmackDown at least, and then like I said, I watch. When I watch for certain things. Like I said, Lesnar when he was there, he got Punk back. I don't know what the hell happened to Lashley. Nia Jax. And this bloodline thing is getting rough. And what's the new guy? New guy, Jacob Fatu. They're not gonna be able to bully him around. That's you can already tell that's eventually gonna get old. And this man's gonna flip out and go to turning. And he makes you think about Umaga or something like that. He's gonna get up there like he did when he first showed up. He's gonna get up there like when he first showed up. He's gonna get up there hurting folks real bad. Ooh, he's gonna be hurting folks.
Line. See what I may have missed the first time. How did I miss Jacob Fatu the first time? Pacing around in the background during this segment, staring at Solo Sikoa like an escaped mental
He looked
patient.
intense.
He was great. Now, let's talk about the lead up to this segment and the segment itself. Because we knew there was some sort of bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. We didn't know what that meant. We had no idea. That was the only thing they hyped up for this week. Bloodline acknowledgement segment plus the Money in the Bank qualifier. And the bloodline arrives early in the show. Paul Heyman is waiting for them, and there's no Jacob Fatu. And he's like, where is Jacob? Right? No word on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu had this incredible debut the week before, where he just ran through Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens, three of the top babyfaces in the company, including the WWE champion. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And now they're in Madison Square Garden. This was his Madison Square Garden debut. You knew he was going to be there, but he wasn't with them at the very beginning. And then as the show progressed, you know, Solo said, look, you said that Jacob was, I forgot exactly what word he used, but like you were worried about him or he was a loose cannon or something, so he's not here. Jacob Fatu is not here. He's not
there.
going to be here. And tonight, in the ceremony later on, I'm going to make it official that you are now my wise man. So they go out to the ring for the closing segment on this show. And Solo Sikoa is doing his best Roman Reigns impersonation. Paul starts
That
talking,
was something.
he cuts him off, puts his hand out for the microphone like Roman would do. And then he introduces Jacob Fatu. So right off the bat, you knew he lied to Heyman.
Yeah.
You knew Heyman was fucked. Now, we got to see Jacob Fatu get his own entrance. I loved it. Because,
that was badass,
well, two reasons I loved it. Number one, they had a great opening to the show where it was just this giant brawl where the Bloodline gets to the building, they walk through the back, they're on their way to the ring, but then Cody and Randy and KO, they just arrived to the building. Now they're walking through the back.
It's crazy, though.
And the Bloodline's waiting for...
How quick that switched up. Because before all these new people got in there, I would say Roman was the enforcer. Well, actually, Roman was the enforcer of the Shield, but Solo was the enforcer. Then now he's the leader with the suit, and he's got the Agent 47 gloves on, rough with it, with the suit. And now, yeah, but they're not going to be pushing Jacob around. He's not going to have none of that shit. I remember, I think it was the other week, and they were putting their hands up. The other two brothers was like they didn't want to mess with him. It's like, all right, we'll do it. Yeah. I don't know how it's gonna work out. They try to turn if they want to. Oh boy. Cause I remember me and my buddy, because he likes to because he couldn't stand them damn horsemen, and he was like, what? He said, what would happen if Lesnar or somebody like that was in the Horsemen, and he got in line for a title shot, and and Flair told him out, get out of my life, get out of this business. Like, yeah, he would have got Flair, all three of them forward, it would have all got their asses beat. That's what would have happened. Talking about get out of my life, get out of this business.
And the baby faces come out on stage, and we get a big brawl. Right?
I wish they would try to slap Lesnar.
Here, in this segment, Jacob Fatu makes his entrance because he wasn't there at the beginning of the show. They saved him from getting a beatdown and looking like just every other member of the Bloodline who got laid out at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that would have been stupid.
Way 2 weeks in to protect him and to keep him special. So he gets his own entrance, and again, he got the generic Def Rebel music. The music is not terrible, but again, the music situation in WWE fucking sucks. Def Rebel is terrible. I don't know why they insist on improving their music situation.
The music was pretty good.
It's a very important part of the presentation for these wrestlers, and they're doing themselves no favors with this generic garbage. But as far as his entrance is concerned, lights out, flames shooting up, he looked like
werewolf. It was badass.
Out to the ring.
It was rugged.
And as the segment progressed, we had Solo going member by member, asking them to step forward and acknowledge him until he gets the ball.
That was something. You ain't Roman. I don't even fool him like that, but you ain't Roman.
One chance to live. Acknowledge me.
Uh-oh. That was something.
And then he brings out the Ulafal. Now, they've established in this story before the importance of this necklace and what it means to the family, what it means to the bloodline. Roman is the only one who wears it. So they've already taken the time to explain to you this thing is important. And the way Heyman sold it when they pulled it out of the bag, it was just perfect, right? He just can't believe this. How did you get this? And he wants Paul to place it upon his neck and acknowledge him as his tribal chief, which answers the question that I think we knew the answer to, but this has been going on since WrestleMania. We've heard references to the tribal chief, right? But we didn't know for sure if it was Solo Sikoa or is it The Rock and The Rock I think is higher than a tribal chief anyway, but we didn't know for sure. Well, now there's no debate about who this tribal chief is that they've been referencing. It's Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, if they'd have jumped on The Rock, that wouldn't have been good either.
Who is in tears. I mean, he's looking up at the sky, he's praying to someone high above. He kisses the Ulafala.
His eyes got real big.
Physical pain. And he's got to make a decision here. What is he going to do? And he tells Solo, I love you, and I acknowledge, and then he pauses, and the crowd is stirring, that you are not my tribal chief.
They were loud as hell when he said that.
Words out, you couldn't hear him. He was drowned out by the crowd. The reaction
that crowd went crazy for that.
In Madison Square Garden was fucking amazing. That's how you know this story is.
And that's crazy because, of course, you already see what's happening. Roman's coming back, or we say back in the day, good guys and bad guys. He's coming back as the good guy. And so I guess you already see the setup. It'll be the original bloodline versus the new bloodline. But who's going to be on the other side? They said they're trying to get I guess his name is Zilla. He's like the youngest Fatu. Yeah. So it'll be Reigns, and they're trying to get the Usos, or whenever they get the Usos back, and I guess it'll be almost like what they have back in the day, the Midnight Express versus the original Midnight Express. I'm surprised they never had I just noticed this. I'm surprised they didn't have the original Horseman versus the new Horseman. But it was like I said, that would have been, they had so many different Horsemen that there was no need for all that. But yeah, I remember seeing the highlights. It was the original Horseman. I mean, the original Midnight Express versus the I think it was Cornette's version, and Paul Heyman had the other version. Eaton and Lane, Stan Lane, and Dennis Condrey. I can't think of the other guy's name. Randy Rhodes, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So that's something like that, sort of. Yeah. That Horseman. There was enough Horsemen now. I guess several different versions of the Horseman.
Firing on all cylinders. When you can get a reaction like that, you've done your job. It's like Sami Zayn hitting Roman Reigns in the back with a chair at the Royal Rumble. Everything built to that moment, and when we got it got the appropriate reaction. This was the biggest pop that Paul Heyman has ever gotten in his entire career. This was the Paul Heyman babyface turn. Right here. The first one I can ever remember, at least in WWE. I mean, he was always a babyface to the ECW audience and on those one-night stand shows. But this is really the first time now that we are seeing the babyface turn of Paul Heyman.
And when he the crowd was with him at that one night stand, the first pay-per-view, he what did he say? Only reason Bradshaw is champion because Triple H don't want to work during the day, don't want to work Tuesday, and he was saying some other stuff. But this here, Heyman, who he got a beating. First the spike, and then they picked him, threw him across the table, Shield style, and messed him up, messed his ass up. Boy, I knew that was it, because he said, "You are not my Trojan," and what's his name, Solo, and you see in the background, what's his name, Jacob. Their eyes got real big. I knew that was it. I said, all right, good night, Heyman. That's it. And, so it's gonna be I'm pretty sure it's gonna be bloodline, like the old bloodline versus new bloodline. And then I heard they're trying to get Heyman, trying to get Lesnar into the mix. I don't know. Somebody posted talking about in the Facebook feed. What about Lesnar and Reigns teaming up? That'll be something, but I don't know about all that now. But they said they are working on getting Lesnar back, but that'll be some shit there. But I could see the old bloodline versus new bloodline. I mean, that's it's too obvious. Because Reigns didn't tell what's his name, not Heyman, Solo to do this and that, and talking about he got word from such and such to do it. I don't know about that. So it's gonna be something else.